Is this the next Ferrari or Lamborghini? I'm sure you've seen all the videos on the internet, and if you came down to the Singapore Motor Show, I'm pretty sure this spicy red electric sports car would have caught your eye. But what are we to make of this? How much does it cost, and what is it doing in Singapore? Well, you're with MrChia, I'm Ju-Len. Let's check out the Yangwang U9 together. So Yangwang means to look up in admiration, like when someone's raising a flag and you're looking up at it. And the U in U9 stands for ultimate. And the stats on this thing are freaking amazing. Yangwang quotes a top speed of 309 kilometers an hour, but in testing it's actually hit more than 391. The chassis is made of carbon fiber, but the car weighs 2.5 tons, which is kind of heavy for a sports car, but it does accelerate like a demon. 0 to 100 takes just 2.36 seconds. And that is thanks to 4 electric motors that each produce 240 kilowatts, giving the U9 a total of 1,305 horsepower. But I think they've missed a trick here because the total output is 960 kilowatts. Just 40 kilowatts more, and they could have branded this a 1 megawatt sports car, and think of the bragging rights. But let's put that into perspective, right? Think of like a 3-liter turbo, say German car. You take the engine from that and you put one engine from those cars at each corner of the wheel. It's like having the power of 4 cars in one. And that is how much raw power we're dealing with here. What's the old saying? Power is nothing without control. Well, check out the aerodynamics. It has a rear wing, it has a rear diffuser, and they generate downforce to keep the car stable at high speed. And having individual motors at each wheel lets the car adjust its yaw angle. That means it can do tank turns like rotating on the spot. Now, someone from another brand was telling me that just the other day when she was setting up her booth, she had to do like a 10-point turn to get her car into place. And then she saw this come in and just glide into position just like that. And she was like, SML. I'm sure you've also seen the car dance on its special suspension, which has the slightly sus and awkward name, D-Sus-X. I don't exactly know what that stands for, but you can see what it does. It makes the car dance like it just drove straight into a rave party. Electric motors push the suspension rods out in just milliseconds. So if you think about it, the U9 has at least 8 electric motors in total. So tank turns, dancing, I mean, those just sound like gimmicks, right? But think about what it means. It means that the stability control system of this car can fine-tune its yaw and control the way it sort of pivots into corners at higher speeds. It also means that it can help the driver to catch small slides before they become big slides. So it helps to make this car more agile and yet more stable. And what about the suspension? Well, in a normal car, when your tire hits a bump, the spring compresses and then it pushes it back to the road. But that means it can only absorb energy and then try to dissipate it. This car can actually use kinetic energy to push the tires to the road for maximum contact. But it also means that it can adjust the attitude of the body for maximum stability. Now, I should say that the Ferrari Pur Sangue can do the same thing. It has a similar suspension system. But can it dance? Okay, let's talk about some boring stuff. The U9 has an 80 kilowatt-hour blade battery from BYD, which gives it a range of roughly 450 kilometers. Pretty sensible, but what's pretty crazy is that it can charge from 30 to 80% in just 10 minutes. And that's because you can charge with 2 charging guns at the same time. One over here and one over here, which means you can actually get 500 kilowatts of charging. I can imagine though, one car using 2 charging guns is going to result in some heated exchanges in the car park. You know, there's so many people looking at this car from outside, but it can actually tell me that there's a crowd in front of it here. So as many people as there are looking at this car is actually looking at them back. But okay, let's talk about the first impressions, because when I get inside here, it does feel like I'm sitting inside a sports car. You do have that sort of cockpit-like feel. But the first impressions are good because the quality of the cabin is very, very high. The fit and finish is good and the materials are very nice as well. I don't know if you've noticed this is where I'm supposed to put my phone. And I'm just gonna rest it here. It looks like the phone is gonna slide off at the first corner, right? But look at that, it just dips automatically to hold it in place. Same thing with the seats. These are nice sporty bolsters that are going to hold me in place really well around the corner. Now I do want to talk about certain things that are special to this car. So it does have a touchscreen. Okay, what's special about that? The brains behind this one is a special chip that BYD actually designed together with Qualcomm, a huge supplier. Why is that significant? Well, the next battlefront in the sort of car industry wars, it's not going to be about horsepower or battery technology, it's going to be about software and microchips. So the fact that BYD is trying to design its own chips currently in partnership with Qualcomm is significant because it means they are serious about winning that war, about who's going to have the best processor, who's going to have the best self-driving technology, who's going to have the best software, who's going to have the best AI, and who's going to have the best voice recognition technology. Now, otherwise, the one thing that people worry about when they're driving a sports car is how hard is it to see out. Believe me, driving a sports car at low speed is a lot more stressful than driving a sports car at high speed. And this car, you can't actually see out the back because there is no window, but there is a rear view camera. That's not unique to BYD. Of course, Polestar uses that system. Ferrari has one car like this. So it's just about getting used to it. But I have to say, if you're worried about what it's like to park this car, well, the U9 has self-parking technology. And frankly speaking, nobody does self-parking like the Chinese. But there is one thing missing, and it's here. Like, seriously, wouldn't you rather have a prancing horse or a raging bull logo over here? So that's the inside. Last thing I want to show you is when I get back out, all I have to do is press a button here and wait for the magic to happen. So that brings me to the price. Now in China, this sells for around about 236,000 US dollars. And I think that puts it roughly at the same level as a Porsche 911 GT3. So if I were to guess, this will be priced here at about $900,000 without COE. So add that in and you're looking at around about $1 million. And if you're wondering what it's doing here at the Singapore Motor Show, well, I'm willing to bet it's gonna go on sale here someday. So I don't know, you might want to start looking under the sofa cushions for some spare change to put aside. But more to the point, I think the U9 is here so BYD can show off its technical abilities. Because this really is the pinnacle of Chinese technology. But let's be honest for a second, is this the next Lamborghini or Ferrari? I think the answer is no. But do Lamborghini and Ferrari have to look over their shoulders at the Chinese? I think the answer is yes. That's my quick and dirty look at the Yangwang U9. Would you buy this car? Let me know in the comments, I really want to know. Thanks for watching this one. And of course, we have other videos for you to check out. For now, that's it from me. See you again. Putting it over as much of the car as I can. Wait, I forgot the line already. And show off the maximum. Let me do that again.